The Now for the reciprocating compressors, the workhorse of the refrigeration industry is the reciprocating compressor, built in sizes ranging from fractional kilowatt to hundreds of kilowatt refrigeration capacity in the electrical. So modern compressors are single acting and may be single cylinder or multi-cylinder. In multi-cylinder compressor, the cylinders are in V, W, radial, or inline arrangement. So the compressors in figure 1 has 16 cylinders, two, two in each of the head. Dalawang cylinder niyan. So during the suction stroke of the piston, low pressure refrigerant gas is drawn to the suction valve kasi inlet siya. Ang inlet is suction, which may be located in the piston or in the head. During the discharge stroke, the piston compresses the refrigerant and then pushes it through the discharge valve, which is usually located in the cylinder head. Okay? Yan yung description ng reciprocating compressor. Next is the hermetically sealed compressor. A compressor whose crankshaft extends through the compressor housing so that a motor can be externally coupled to the shaft is called an open-type compressor. A seal must be used where the shaft comes to the compressor housing to prevent refrigerant gas from leaking out or air from leaking in if the crankcase pressure is lower than atmospheric. Yan ang purpose ng compressor housing. Hermetically sealed. Even though designers have continually developed better seals, piercing of the housing always represent a source of leakage. To avoid leakage at the seal, the motor and compressor are open and closed in the same housing as shown in figure 2. So yan yung mga example ng hermetically sealed compressor. Improved techniques for insulating the motor electrically have allowed motors to operate even though they are in contact with the refrigerant. In many designs, so the cold suction gas is blown across the motor to keep the motor cool. Almost all small motor compressor combination used in refrigerators, freezers, and residential air conditioner are of the hermetic type. Maliliit, di ba? Pag malalaki, so hindi yon hermetic. So the only connections to the compressor housing are the suction and discharge fitting, and electric terminals. Yun lang makikita mo. So the moisture in the system can be damaging to the motor. Therefore, the hydration of hermetic units before charging is essential. So on large hermetically sealed units, the cylinder heads are usually removable so that the valves and piston can be serviced. This type of unit is called semi-hermetic. Hermetic. Yan, sa large unit. Next is the condensing unit. The compressor and the condenser of a system are conveniently combined into a condensing unit. Okay, sa figure 3. Yan, example ng condensing unit. Andyan yung compressor and condenser. Pag condenser lang andyan, ang tawag doon is condenser unit. Pag condensing unit, so yan. Walang compressor. Walang compressor pag ang condenser unit. Pag condensing unit, so may compressor. So the motor, compressor, and condenser may be compactly mounted on the same frame and located remotely from the expansion valve and evaporator. Kaya meron tayong mga split type. Kaya yung piping lang ang nag-connect sa kanila. Okay. Pag-check ko lang kung naka-recording. Next for the performance ng compressor. Yeah. So dito na tayo sa calculations. So the two of the most important performance characteristic of a compressor are its refrigeration capacity and its power requirement. So these two characteristic of a compressor operating at constant speed are controlled largely by the suction and discharge pressure. An analysis will be made first of an ideal reciprocating compressor, okay, because it affords a clearer understanding of the effect of these two pressure. Yeah. Ang topic na to is para sa compressor lang, okay? Separate yung mga sa evaporator. So, sa compressor, andyan, uso yan yung volumetric efficiency. Okay? Tandaan nyo. So, volumetric efficiency, thermodynamics, the basis for predicting performance of reciprocating compressor. Two types of volumetric efficiency will be considered, actual and clearance. Diba sa gas compressor, meron din to. So, the actual volumetric efficiency, N sub VA, is defined by N sub VA is equal to volume flow rate entering compressor in cubic meter per second for SI units and divided by the displacement rate of compressor in cubic meter per second, always multiplied by 100 kasi ang efficiency always expressed in percentage. Okay? So, where the displacement rate is the volume swept through the piston, through by the piston in suction stroke per unit time. So, familiar na kayo sa mga diagram, di ba? So, next, the clearance, V sub C, yan, yung clearance niya. Volumetric efficiency depends on the expansion of gas trapped in the clearance volume and can be explained by showing a pressure volume diagram as in figure 4. Okay? So the maximum volume in the cylinder which occurs when the piston is at one end of its stroke is B3. So itong reference figure natin, binabanggit natin mga symbols. Okay, andyan sa B3, maximum. The minimum volume or the clearance volume is BC. Okay, so yung diagram dito is constant. This is the diagram for compressor. This is isentropic or polytropic. So the which occurs at the end of the piston stroke. So the discharge pressure is P sub D. Yan. Initially, ang pressure mo baba, mataas yung volume. Pag kinompress mo, siyempre yung volume mo kukunti, yung pressure mo tataas. So in the first instance, assume that the suction pressure P sub 1, ito yung suction mo, so wala tayo dito, dito tayo mag-umpisa. Gas trap in the clearance volume must expand to V1. So before the suction and the cylinder is low enough for the suction valve to open and draw in more gas. So the volume of the gas drawn in the cylinder will be B sub 1 minus B sub 3 and the volumetric efficiency N sub BC for this case is B sub 3 minus B sub 1 divided by B sub 3 minus B sub C kasi hindi sa umabot sa max clearance. So that is, yan, tawag yan is yung efficiency. Okay, when the suction pressure is P sub 2, ito naman, the intake portion of the stroke is reduced to B sub 3 minus B sub 2. In the extreme case, where the suction pressure has dropped to P3, the piston uses its entire stroke to re-expand the gas in the correct volume and the clearance volumetric efficiency is 0%. Now, the clearance volumetric efficiency can be expressed in another way, illustrated in figure 4, using P1 as the suction pressure, the percent clearance M, which is C, which is a constant for a given compressor is defined as C is equal to B sub C over B sub 3 minus B sub C times 100. Yeah. This is now the clearance percentage. Post tayo,